Okay, perfect. So, hi everyone. I see we have quite a number of people there, and I was actually curious if you guys are able to see the chat. And because if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to put it in a chat. And if you could put something in there right now, just say hello, so I know that I am in the right chat and that I can actually see your questions as well, so I can receive. Okay, that's perfect. Hello. Well, before we get started, I first of all want to take a moment to thank David and Anka for having me here and inviting me again to be part of the special event. I think this is the third year, and I'm really truly grateful to be here and very excited to share some of my experiences with all of you. My hope is that what we talk about today will have a positive impact on your trading journey and ultimately help you find the success you're aiming for. Now, the topic that I have chosen today is something that is really close to my heart. Why every trader needs an edge to succeed. And I am going to share my screen right now so you can actually see that. Here we go. So why every trader needs an edge to succeed. As a trading mindset coach, I see so many issues that arise from either not knowing the answer to this question or simply not understanding how crucial it is. And I can relate to that personally because I've been there myself. Years ago, I was stuck in the cycle of inconsistency and trying to make it in trading and did not have the clarity that I needed to break free from it. But once I figured out the answer to this question and built my edge, that is when everything changed for me. This is what finally allowed me to break from the cycle and achieve consistent profits, turning trading into a reliable source of income. So this isn't really just another presentation. We are going to dive deep into the real reasons why traders struggle with consistency. And maybe why many of you struggle. If you would like to let me know in the chat, if I'm actually talking to the right audience, if there are anyone in the audience that struggles with consistency, or maybe you are already all trading for a living and just looking to improve and enhance your edge, that is also fantastic. But what is more important is how can you develop the edge that you need to push through the barriers, that you stop limiting yourself and that you can actually capitalize on the full potential. I know it's not easy to admit if you struggle, so that's okay if you don't put it in a chat. Regardless whether you are brand new to trading or if you have been trading for a while, my goal for today is really simple. I want to give you actionable insights that you can use right away so that you can grow, adapt, and move one step closer to the freedom you are working so hard to achieve. But before we dive in, all right, we see some people with courage. Very good. Thank you. So before we dive in, I want to invite you to do something with me. Put your phone away for the next 45 to 50 minutes. I know it might be challenging. You don't have to bring it to another room. Just put it on the side of you, somewhere at the wherever you sit, and maybe flip it upside down so you don't see the screen. And now as we go through the session, just pay attention to how often do you feel the urge to pick it up, whether it's to check the social media, maybe check your trades, even though the market is closed, maybe you have the urge to constantly check the quotes, or maybe just even out of habit, you just pick it up without any specific intention, without even thinking about it, just picking it up, right? These are just sort of habits, right? So by doing this, if you challenge yourself to do this for the next 45 minutes, you will not only gain some valuable insights from my presentation, hopefully, but you will also be practicing a few of the most important skills for trading. That is self-awareness, focus, and concentration. And the goal is that when you leave today, you will walk away as a better trader without even lifting a finger. How does that sound to you? So before we continue, I would like to take a moment to share a little bit more about myself, because maybe some of you, or maybe many of you, don't know me, see me for the first time. So this way you will learn a little bit about me and why I am here today. So I'm originally Polish, and at the age of 22, I emigrated to the Netherlands. And since 2013, I live here in the US, in Florida. I graduated with a degree in marketing and management, and that was my dream at that time, to become, a businesswoman. So I built a corporate career, and I have always, alongside, had a deep fascination for human psychology. And because of all the challenges in my life, I actually started developing in that area, and it became my passion that led me to become neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and a master practitioner, and eventually a trainer. That was in early 2000, and I started working as a life coach. For over 20 years now, helping people to unlock their full potential has been really more than just a passion for me. It's really a part of who I am. I am always incredibly excited about helping people create lasting change in both their personal, but also in their professional lives. And when I see someone limiting themselves or not being able to get over some, hoops and having a lot of resistance, that's where I get enthusiastic and get into action. And when people ask me what I do for fun, I always tell them the same thing. I help people improve their lives. I work for fun. And that might sound boring for some people, but for me, this is what really fuels me and give me energy. And the results that I get from it, if I look at the results of my students, that's the payoff, that's the joy and pleasure and energy that I get out of that. So the circle is around, making my life pretty complete. Trading. What is the place of trading in my life? My trading journey began in 2010. I have never really until then heard of trading. I set up my first account 2010, had no idea what I was doing. It was just out of curiosity, challenge. But it wasn't until 2014, directly after I moved to the US, that I thought this is now the right moment to pursue this as a full-time career. And, like many new traders, I ran into my fair share of challenges, making a lot of mistakes, hitting the wall, struggling with consistency, and really finding myself stuck for 2 years in the cycle of failure, or the failing cycle, as I call it now. And I even stepped away for a while from trading, but I really never intended to give it up. And instead, I learned from my mistakes, and I used the knowledge that I had as a life coach, my NLP training, and I used it to identify what was actually going wrong and make the necessary changes. That sounds very easy, right? I can tell you it wasn't, and it took time. I really had to go on self-discovery. And if you know anything about, not asking for help, a lot of ambitious people and high achievers, we believe that I can do everything myself. So at that time, I did not ask anyone for help. I did everything myself. That's why it costed me quite a lot of time. Otherwise, I probably would get to my results faster. But yeah, afterwards, everyone is a genius after the fact, right? So not long after that I did all the work, I was able to bring consistency into my trading. And then since 2018, I was finally able to generate reliable monthly income with my trading. And at this moment, I trade equities. I have always been trading just stocks. So I day trade, I swing trade. I also manage my own retirement account. And so far this year, just to give an idea, I reached 60% of growth of my account with a profit factor over 9. And I have 70-30 win-loss ratio. That's what consistency meant for me, and it's really allowed me to pursue my passions. And that's the whole trading journey really inspired me to take what I've learned, to take my experience and my knowledge and use it to help other traders, especially those who are struggling with the same things that I was. Consistency and aiming to trade for a living. Because how can you trade for a living if you cannot make your profit consistent, right? That's just excluding itself. So in 2019, I founded a head coaching company that is designed to offer high effectiveness mindset coaching programs, especially tailored for traders. And my goal is to help traders prepare mentally to operate in those uncertain conditions of the market, in all the dynamics of the market, build a solid foundation and develop the mindset skills that are necessary for long-term success. I understand firsthand the unique mindset challenges that traders face, and that is actually what fuels my passion, helping them to develop that mental edge that they need to succeed. So when I talk about the importance of the mindset in trading, it is not just a theory for me. It has been a critical part of my own journey as a trader and a critical part of my success. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing those insights with you today. Have you ever wondered why consistency feels like the hardest part of trading? It's something that nearly every single trader struggles with. No matter what education you do, most traders end up struggling with consistency. Whether you have been trading 1 year or 5 years, some people come to me even after 15, 16 years and still struggle with consistency. Well, the thing is that there are actually two main elements at play here. So first, it is really not just about being consistent, but it is about understanding what you need to be consistent in. Let me give you this analogy. Imagine that you are promoted at work. Okay, you're in a corporate environment and you just getting a promotion. And you have been doing an incredible job in your previous role that maybe requires attention to detail. Okay, and you have totally mastered it. You have the full control over your projects, and now you've done so well, you are promoted to a management position. And that demands a completely different skill set. But you feel pretty confident about the fact that you can do it because you have been excelling in your previous role. But your strengths, the things that made you great at your previous job, can very quickly become your liabilities in this new role. And the leadership skills that you need, you might simply not have. And without letting go of those old ways of doing your job and really fully embracing your new role, you might be missing the opportunity to really succeed at it. So you might start micromanaging, and that might cause some frictions in your work. You might be getting overworked because you are trying to control everything and you cannot take, step back and see the bigger picture and really manage instead of micromanage. So you keep doing what you have always done, right? Because that feels comfortable and gives you control. You feel like you're good at it, so you just do what you are good at. It's just the problem is that it doesn't work in the new context of your new position. And it is a mistake to think that success in the new role will come just from doing what you did in the old one. And this happens in trading as well. We often bring behaviors and perspective from other areas of our life, like our personal relationships, our work, our other activities, our beliefs, our values, things we find important, and we take that into trading. But those, even if they have worked elsewhere, they don't always translate, most of the time they don't, into the trading environment. because it's a completely different dynamic. But you keep doing what feels comfortable because it gives you control. We always try to control things, right? And this is how you actually get stuck in that cycle, and it leads you to frustration and inconsistency. The second element of the struggle is knowing what is not working. If you don't know what to change, and I always hear that, like traders come to me and they say, I keep repeating the same mistake and I don't know why. I don't understand why I'm saying to myself in the morning, I am going to follow my plan, and then I just do the same mistake over and over, jump into trades, overtrade, revenge trade, just like something is, like I'm possessed, right? So if you don't understand what is happening, how can you change that? So what do most traders do when things are not working? They start to question their strategy. Does it sound familiar? You might be spending months searching for the perfect system, jumping from one strategy to another, test all new ideas, sometimes get win here and there and get excited, but you don't get those wins consistently. And why? Because every time the market throws you a curveball and your emotions take over. So fear, frustration, maybe doubt, and that starts to play on you, and you fail to follow your plan because you are not equipped to handle that. So the strategy isn't the problem. Your ability to stick to the strategy, that's the key. So why does consistency feel so hard? It's because most traders don't acknowledge what is really stopping them from being consistent, and they don't know how to address it. It's really that simple. If you don't have the skills needed to establish consistency in your trading, it's not going to happen. It's a lot of mental work there. Absolutely, William. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Consistency is built through repeated actions and habits, which traders often struggle to establish. Does that sound familiar to anyone? And maybe you have felt the same frustration. Maybe you have seen your results falling apart when you thought, I actually had a solid plan. Like, what is happening? The truth is that the real reason why so many traders struggle, and that's what we are going to dive into today. So here's how the session is going to flow. We are going to focus on the single most important thing that separates successful traders from anyone else, a trading edge. So first we'll break down exactly what is a trading edge and why so many traders miss the mark. And if you think about it, most traders think that trading edge is about strategy. And yes, strategy is crucial, but this is just only one side of the equation. And I'm here to show you today that a real trading edge isn't just about finding a strategy that has positive expectancy, but the real key is your ability to follow that strategy day in, day out, regardless of what the market or your emotions throw at you. Next, we'll talk about why traders struggle with this, what's missing in most approaches, and I'll show you where to look for your edge. Not just in your strategy again, but also in your mindset and your execution. And then finally, I'll give you some actionable steps that you can start using right away to begin building your edge. And for those of you who are serious about mastering it, I'll also share some additional resources to help you along the way. Regardless whether you're new to this or you have been trading for years, my goal again is very simple: to provide you with insights that you can apply immediately. Something that will help you grow and move closer to where you want to be. Because let's face it, trading isn't easy. And if anyone says it is, I will be very skeptical. But with the right edge, it's absolutely worth it. So what is trading edge? Trading edge is more than having great strategy, right? We said. It's your ability to consistently execute the strategy no matter what the market throws at you. And maybe you have heard the statistics that only 3% of traders, of day traders, actually make consistent profits. Most of them can't even make a minimum wage with day trading. And that shows you that without the trading edge, it is nearly impossible to realize your goals and dreams with trading. And I know that many traders don't want to know that and just keep going. But it is important that you know the conditions that you are attempting to perform in, and that you are fully aware what is the challenge you are taking on. Over 80% of traders quit within the first 2 years. So if you haven't quit yet and you're trading more than 2 years, you're already ahead. The vast majority of trading accounts lose money over time. So just think about how much money have you already invested, not just in your capital and losses, but also how much time you have invested in it. And these aren't just numbers. This is really a reflection of how difficult it is to succeed without a solid edge. The scary part is that most traders don't even realize what they're missing. When you don't have an edge, or when you don't know how to fully utilize it, this is what happens. You're constantly second-guessing yourself. You jump from strategy to strategy and hoping that the next one will be the one. I don't know about you, but I have done that myself a lot. Different chat rooms, different strategy. Absolutely insane. How much focus is going outside of looking for the next thing that is going to make money for you, the strategy, and how little is the focus on yourself. You feel like the market is out to get you. Every loss strings is deeper than it should be because you are constantly fighting with yourself. You're constantly ruminating, fighting the fear and the greed and all the emotions that are coming up, and you're simply not in control. How do I know you so well? I guess because I am one of you. I have been struggling for, as I mentioned, 2 years before I managed to overcome those challenges. And it's actually more than challenges. It's really completely transforming the way that you perceive the market, that you look at yourself, and what you allow yourself to do, getting yourself out of that box that you're in. And I'm talking about the box here in your mind, and something I call mindset transformation now, but it is truly transformative experience if you go through that, because it's not only that it changes your trading, but it also changes your life. And I hear that constantly from my students who are going through my programs, that transformation, if you get through the transformation, your life completely transforms. So this is where many traders go wrong when it comes to finding their edge, because some believe their edge is all about finding and having foolproof strategy. But there is no such thing as a strategy that works 100% of the time. And I know that sometimes we say, oh yeah, I know this is not going to work 100% of the time. But really acknowledging it from inside, from deep down there, and not placing a trade, not having that hope of this trade should win, that's a different story. And that's the part where you need to work on disconnecting yourself from that old beliefs that might be circling somewhere around, because we are all used to getting paid for our work, right? In trading, that's very different. You might be working the whole month and actually lose money and not gain money. And the very first proof of this is that many traders don't even want to hear that and acknowledge that might be a case. And consistency isn't about making money every single day and then getting a paycheck. It's very different. Consistency is having that flow and not necessarily steadiness like that. It's measured over longer period of time. So there's a lot of different perceptions of what consistency even is, and misconception about how that should look like in your everyday trading. Other traders think that they can actually shortcut the process by copying someone else's system. But even if you get the best strategy in the world, if you cannot execute it consistently, it's worthless. And you will see other people, that's what happens a lot in chat rooms, you will see other people trading it successfully, but you're losing money on it. Anyone experience with that? I've been into trading rooms myself, and I'm not saying every trading room is like that, but following someone else is really not as easy as it sounds, because if you follow someone, most of the time you are too late to the game. And before you know, they have already sold and you're still in it. And now your loss is too big. And now you don't have the emotional resilience to actually take that loss. So the loss is getting bigger, bigger and bigger. And finally you cut it. And that's where you see many times the price moving back, and that triggers all kinds of other, other kind of domino effect and behaviors that are revenge trading, etc., etc. So think about it. Imagine a professional athlete with the best trading plan in the world. But if the athlete doesn't stay focused, doesn't stick to his routine, is not able to manage the emotions while performing under pressure, the question is, will they succeed, you think? Probably not, right? And trading is really no different. It is not just about the tools. It is about the trader who is using them. And let's not forget about the whole emotional toll of trading without an edge. So it's pretty exhausting, because if you don't have an edge, you're constantly on the edge. You're constantly reacting to market instead of planning ahead. You simply getting triggered by the price movements. Not only that you're getting triggered from outside, from what you see in front of you, you're getting triggered by the news, maybe some alerts, maybe other parts of triggers. You get mental triggers, emotional triggers from inside. Previous losses. Oh, I don't want to lose again. Previous wins. Oh my God, yesterday I had such a good day. I will have this day today. And then you start forcing. Even if the market is not giving you the same opportunities, you feel like you can actually get the same results as yesterday. So disconnecting from the past is much more difficult. You having that emotional roller coaster and that fight constantly with yourself. And, at some point you might even start doubting yourself, especially if you have been stuck in that cycle for a longer time, or if you have been losing your profits for a longer time. You're not only doubting your strategy, but yourself as a trader. And eventually yourself as a person. What is wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. Why am I a failure? Am I stupid or something? And if you have built a career next to trading, you might be really breaking your head about, how is this even possible? I am successful in my other business or in my other work. Why can't I get this right? But remember, there's nothing wrong with you. You are just stepping into another role. You're stepping into another job that you might not be necessarily prepared for in the right way. So it's really important to understand that your edge isn't just about the technical side. It's about how you handle yourself, the decisions you make, the mindset you bring, and of course, the habits you develop. And that requires strong mindset skills. You need to have this solid foundation and not just, oh, I will do it just once. It's a constant journey. I always say there is not something like the day you made it, the made it day, because your success as a trader is not some point in the future. It's a constant journey, because you have to work on that every single day. You have to work on that improvement and on mastering your skills every single day. You need to train just like an athlete. So if most traders are missing their edge or looking for it in the wrong place, the question is, what is it exactly and how you find it, right? And this is what we are going to explore next. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime? Okay. So what is a trading edge? So trading edge has two key components. First, it's a strategy with positive expectancy. And this means that over a series of trades, your strategy is statistically likely to be profitable. It is not about winning every trade, but it is about ensuring that your average win is greater than your average loss over time. Over time is a very important part of that. For example, if your strategy wins 50% of the time, but your average win is double your average loss, then you have positive expectancy. So the math works in your favor. Is that clear? But here's the thing, even with a great strategy, it only works if you follow it, right? So the second component is your ability to follow that strategy consistently, not just for a few days, consistently over time. This is the part many traders overlook. Execution, discipline, and mindset are just as critical as strategy itself. These are the two components that you cannot disconnect and say, oh, I don't like this part. Because what you're basically saying is like, I want to do the job, but I only want to do the things that are in this bucket. My job description, I'm just going to cut it in half and just do half of it. You cannot expect to perform and thrive in that function if you are going to do that. Your edge is only as strong as your ability to execute it. So if fear, greed, or hesitation take over, you will deviate from your plan. And suddenly, even the best strategy won't save you. It's like having a high-performance car. Any car enthusiasts? So if you have a really high-performance car, like really, something very, very cool and sports car, but you don't know how to drive it. The car has an amazing potential, but if you don't have the skill and focus to handle it, you won't get far. You will just be, moving from A to B, but you will not be getting full experience and the full advantage of that. So now that we know what the trading edge is, let's talk about where most traders go looking for it and why they miss the mark. So most traders focus almost entirely on strategy. I already mentioned that. Like you spend hours looking for the holy grail, tweaking indicators, maybe buying new setup, like new indicators, right? There's a lot of now systems you can like plug into your platforms, and yes, it might be all helpful, but thinking that this is the thing that's going to make you, there is a little bit of a flaw there. There is not something that this is the one that's going to change everything in your trading. You will not be all set with a magic indicator or system. How many of you have switched strategies because the last one didn't work? Or it didn't work as quick or as well as you hoped? Or maybe you bought a new course that promised to give you a secret, $1 million indicator that will revolutionize your results. Edge, having the ability and discipline to follow your written strategy flawless. Yes. And all of these things are really good, but the key is, how do you get that ability? Because ability is something you can actually learn. It's a skill. It's not like, oh, I am either able or not able. These are skills we are talking about. Even discipline is a skill. Patience is a skill. It's not something that you have or you don't have, and that's it. You can learn those skills. Because even the best strategy cannot guarantee you success. Market changes, conditions evolve, and no strategy will work in every scenario. Now, what really separates successful traders is their ability to adapt and stick to their plan when things get tough, especially when the market conditions change and your strategy suddenly doesn't work. You need a really strong mental foundation to be able to not project that on yourself and say, what is wrong with me? And keep hammering on that strategy that's not working. But you need to be able to pivot and give the strategy, maybe take another strategy and see, how am I going to handle the situation? Is it taking another strategy and putting into play? Or maybe it's stepping away for a moment altogether, which I know it's a huge challenge for many traders to step away from trading, right? Even for 30 minutes. So one of the most common mistakes that traders make is expecting that the strategy has to work immediately. But as I mentioned before, consistency takes time. And if you try a strategy just for a week or two, and then you give up because you don't see results, you are really not giving yourself or the strategy a fair chance to succeed. Just think about it. If you are not consistent in how you trade a strategy, how can you expect the results to be consistent? You probably have heard before, the way you live, the way you trade. That's why it is so connected. Like, your results will reflect the person that you are and the way you do things. In order to have a large enough sample size to see if your strategy is working, so in order to see if your strategy is working, you need to have enough sample size to show it to yourself. And there are different schools. Some say it's 50 trades, some say it's 10, it's 100. Some people say minimum 250. But you need to get a meaningful understanding of the effectiveness of your strategy. And depending on how often you trade and how many trades you take, it might take you weeks or even months. And this is really important to understand and take in, so that you don't have that expectation, oh, it's not working. I've tried it for a week. Let me try to find another strategy. Because you did not even have time to actually see what exactly is not working and evaluate and see if it's the market conditions or if it's the strategy or if it's you, what is going on. So you need to really commit to the process and not just in trading the strategy consistently, but also in tracking and reviewing your performance. The bottom line is that the problem isn't just that traders switch their strategy too quickly, but exactly that they don't give themselves time to learn about the strategy, get comfortable trading it, and then collect enough data so that you can measure the performance. Because if you have enough sample size and you have been testing your strategy, you really get so much more confidence in your strategy to start with, but also how you are trading it and what you can expect. So without consistency over time, even the best strategy will appear to fail if you don't give it enough time. And this is actually a reason why so many traders stay stuck. So while strategy is important, and please remember that it is important, it's just not the most important thing. It is really just only one part of the equation. If you're not giving it enough time and consistency, it needs, or if you're not addressing the other factors like mindset and discipline, it will always feel like you are falling short. So you will keep projecting it on yourself. So this brings us really to the side of the edge most traders ignore, which is the execution side of your edge, the mindset, the discipline, and emotional resilience. If you cannot manage fear during a drawdown, you will most likely abandon your plan prematurely. If you cannot stay disciplined, you will overtrade and chase the market. Your mindset and habits are as important as your technical skills. So how do you develop your edge? Not just in your strategy, but in your ability to execute that strategy consistently. Well, it is all about creating a balance between your strategy, your execution, and your mindset. So let me walk you through a simple framework on how to develop this, and you might want to take some notes if you will. Start by asking yourself, does my strategy have positive expectancy? Look back at your past trades and see if your average win is greater than your average loss. And if not, your edge might need redefining, at least looking at it. Then start by asking yourself, is my strategy aligned with me as a person? Look back at your strategy and see how it aligns with your personal preferences, your character, your lifestyle. And look, for example, at what is your risk tolerance as a person? What is your time commitment that you are willing to give to trading? What is your personality? What are your psychological traits? Because if your strategy does not align with you, you might be really having a hard time to stick to it. And you will keep sabotaging yourself and not even understanding why. Now, next, focus on building emotional resilience. And notice that I didn't say emotional control. And there's a reason for that. Most people associate controlling emotions with suppressing them because they think they need to force themselves to ignore fear, push down the frustration, and pretend they're not feeling anxious. A lot of people grew up in assumption that you should not be showing emotions. So not many people really have learned how to regulate and how to go about your emotions. But suppressing emotions doesn't work, not in life, definitely not in trading, because sooner or later they want to come out. It's energy in motion. It wants to get away, go free. So the key is not to control your emotions, but to learn how to regulate them. Controlling emotions is like, if you think about it, it's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes effort, and eventually it will pop up, which is even stronger. So regulating emotions, on the other hand, means recognizing what you're feeling, understanding why is it happening, and responding to it in a way that is more balanced. And I said responding on purpose because most people, if they don't know how to regulate emotions, they react to it instead of choosing the response. So instead of trying to suppress, for example, fear during a trade, you can acknowledge it, and then you can use your self-talk skills to reframe what is it that you are experiencing, and then you can do some regulating techniques like breathing exercises that are specifically for that, to reset your nervous system. Because you are a human being, you know, there is a lot of coming at you, and you can learn how to regulate it. That's an example of emotional regulation. And that's what, you know, a lot of people do in high stress jobs, like firemen, for example, right? Military. They also learn to do that. When you are constantly exposed to triggers, to high stress, high pressure, which market exposes you to, you need to learn those skills, how to be able to handle that and be in that environment. Trading will test you in ways that you cannot predict. One moment you're calm and confident, and the next you'll be panicking because the market moves against you, and you will feel it. So if you have trained yourself to regulate emotions, and this is what will help you stay centered, even in those high pressure moments. It doesn't mean you won't feel fear or greed or frustration, that you will not get triggered, but because this is really a part of being a human, and your nervous system will be triggered, but it doesn't mean that you won't let those emotions dictate your decision, because you will be able to regulate them. And then the last but not least is master your execution. This is where your mental skills come to play. Let me know in the chat. I'm really curious if you have an idea how many mindset skills there are that are key for traders. Any idea? Just give me a number. I'm curious if you guys have an idea how many skills you should know as a trader. Anyone dares to give it a shot? Yeah, 20. It's a big number. Good. 20. Maybe 5. Well, if you said 20, many develop all the time. If you said 20, think about if you can list them, okay? But there are really 12 key mindset skills that are absolutely crucial. These are the basic mindset skills that you need as a trader. And don't feel bad if you don't know it. Don't feel bad if you cannot call them all. Most traders don't. But that's just proves the fact that most traders are really not well prepared for the job, that they are not prepared to survive, not only survive in the market conditions, that, you know, the environment you operate in every day, but to thrive. Because this is not just about survival, you actually want to perform, right? So it is not about survival, it's about thriving in those conditions. And that requires developing those skills. So I want to give you a tip on how to start mastering your execution, and we could go another hour about mindset skills. And I see that I have like about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to tell you how to master your execution, and I'm going to give you also my contact information. You can always contact me, and I can give you some information about the mindset skills that you need. One of the most effective tools for mastering your execution is journaling. By tracking how well you are following your plan, and I'm not talking about writing down the numbers like when you enter, when you exit, but really writing down what you're going through, your emotions, your thoughts, will build self-awareness, will build self-awareness about what might be stopping you from sticking to it, from sticking to your plan. And then you will also start noticing limiting patterns that you may have. The tricky part is that sometimes these patterns aren't easy to spot unless you know what you're looking for. And that's why asking someone for help who knows how to spot it can really help. But even if you start just on your own, journaling is a great first step. And another powerful tool that I recommend that is also one of the mindset skills is visualization. Visualizing your execution before you actually do it, it's a fantastic way to prime your brain for success, to prime your brain for actually doing it real time. I have seen really positive results with my students when they use the visualization as a part of their daily routine, as their preparation. What I do with my students is I give them this specifically designed 50-minute visualization exercise so they can do it every morning. It's just 50 minutes. And that helps establish new neural pathways in your brain, which then in turn supports you in executing your trading plan more effectively. So just to sum it up, your edge is the sum of your strategy, your mindset, and your execution. And if one piece is missing, the entire system breaks down. And if you are ready to start making some steps, I want to make sure that you leave here today with something actionable that can help you start building your edge right away, as I promised. Here is some free resource for you. It's a guide to consistency, because there are small adjustments to your process that you can make that will make a big difference in your strategy execution, in your emotional regulation, discipline, and mindset. So they are very easy, 10 tips. And if you start implementing those changes, you will be setting yourself up for more consistency and better results. This is completely free, so feel free to scan the code. I'm also going to put a link in the chat to everyone, so you can just click on it and then register, and you will get it in your email. If you're serious about improving your trading mindset, your execution, and enhancing your edge or building your edge, this is really great first step. It's really easy, immediately actionable. It will help you make those crucial adjustments that will lead to lasting improvements in both your trading performance and your consistency. And if you are tired of being stuck in the same point in your trading and ready to progress, I want to invite you to my program. This is a group coaching program that I have specifically designed for traders who are serious about mastering their edge. It's the Rise Up of the Profitable Trader, and it's a 12-week program that's a full package to help you break the cycle, build a solid foundation for long-term success, and achieve consistent results. It's about aligning your strategy, mastering your consistent execution, so that you can move past the barriers that have been holding you back. We'll work together very closely, step by step. The group is only 12 people, so I have a lot of personal attention for everyone. And we have daily contact. We have weekly coaching sessions. You have all the tools, strategies, and support that you need to build and enhance your edge and create sustainable approach to trading. And something really excited about this program also is it includes a special bonus masterclass from Peter Robbins, a live masterclass. If you know Peter Robbins, maybe from Twitter, he shares valuable insights from his over 50 years of trading experience, 5-0. So Peter will personally help you with your strategy alignment and enhancement of your trading edge. So 12 traders in 12 weeks. It starts in January. And if you are interested to know more, scan the code, get on the priority list today. And that means that if you leave your email, and I'm putting the link right now in the chat, if you leave your email on that list, I will contact you and you will know when the enrollment opens. The program starts January 14, and the enrollment will be opening in December. So thank you, William. I appreciate it. just to show you some of the results from my students who have gone through this program recently. It's absolutely incredible results. This is exactly where I get my fulfillment and joy. And this is not just in their trading, but also in their confidence, in their private life. One trader actually shared that it was the first time they truly felt in control of their trading. No more second guessing or feeling overwhelmed by emotions. It's absolutely incredible what you can achieve if you do the right thing, you have focus and concentration, and someone shows you and guides you step by step how to do it. So, quick recap, we talked about the trading edge, strategy, and consistent execution. This is a full trading edge. Success is about progress, not perfection. Focus on making steps, focus, concentration. Make sure you get the free guide. And remember that it begins with your decision to change what is not working. It's all about showing up every day, learning, adapting, and sticking to your plan. So before you go, make sure you see. And please connect with me on social media. Thank you for spending your time with me. You can subscribe to my Confidence in Trading podcast. I share a lot of helpful strategies there. And yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, David.